style hat. So should be
Yeah,
fun.
the guy working with me, he made up some work hats for me. Just got the company name on there, and I thought about
Yeah.
going where he went to get some TJ81 made up, so I might do that too.
Yeah, I don't blame you a bit.
I think they were those Richardson hats. Those are some good hats. I like those.
Yeah. It's hard to find the colors though, man. A lot of the colors right now in those Richardson's hats. That's what the ones that I'm having done. I'm doing my favorite, navy blue on the front, white. I had everybody vote for it. They all voted on the black on black, and I'm like, these guys are obviously not anglers.
Right.
Well, I'm like, who wears a black hat in the middle, when they're fishing?
Right. Well, I mean, I wear all black sometimes too.
Yeah, maybe it'll be their good hat. That's how I do it. I got a good hat.
The dress hat.
Yeah. This hat's a little cleaner than my actual fishing hat. Let me put this one on.
And I don't know what it is about my head. It seems like it's so hard to find a hat that fits right. Either they're too tall, they're too short. It's like, with those Richardson hats, they actually fit really good.
Yeah, they do. They're made well. Yeah. So, but right now, like that's the only two colors is like the black on black and the navy and the white. So that's just the navy is kind of my color. So
right. Well, black looks good anyway too, though. So is blue.
Yeah.
All right, we got some people jumping in here now, and look who we got. The beautiful BassGeek. Dude, that beard, man, that beard's looking pretty wide, brother.
It needs to be trimmed up and shaped, but I'm just letting her go crazy. Trust me, the hair is back to crazy.
Is the hair flowing as well?
It's not long like it was this time last year, but I can't get the wife to give me a haircut. It's gotta happen because I start working shows. Not this coming weekend, but I'll be at the Knoxville show down the Knoxville. What is it? Fishing in Knoxville? I don't remember. Anyway, it's the expo in Knoxville, which will be the weekend after next.
And we talked about that. We were supposed to get a booth or something. I guess we never followed up on that.
Well, yeah, the guy that was talking about doing it with us, he kind of dropped off the face of the earth, man. So I didn't know what he was wanting to do.
Gotcha. Do a little roll call here. What's going on, everyone? Hanging with BassGeek tonight. I'm sure you guys know who he is. If not, I'll have him linked down below. Definitely check him out. What's going on, little Tommy? Mainstream. And I really do like having BassGeek on because he fishes completely different water than I fish. So if you guys got some questions for him, drop them below here because they're questions I can't answer. I do not fish clear water. I don't fish that kind of depth, so pretty cool having a little BassGeek on here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I put out a little short the other day, and I found a school like I was telling you before, like 100 smallmouth, and they were probably 35 feet deep. So just sitting there.
That's crazy.
Army Outdoors, you better come talk to me if you're going to be in Knoxville. I'll be working the Camus booth, guys. I will be in the Camus. So just go find the Camus boats. I'll be there drooling on them.
Do you have an ETA with that yet? Do you know when it's showing up or?
Not yet, man. I'm going to corner my guy. Like I'm supposed to go down to Nashville and do the whole, video in the shop and get to see my boat being made.
That's cool.
So, but I don't have an ETA. I'm going to fish the BFLs in the Mountain Division. My first tournament is March, like the 14th or something. And we might be fishing at that old Ruby, man, the old Triton.
Hey, she still works.
Hey, she still works. She scares me, though. You get two big boys in it, and, 55, 58 is about all she can handle.
Right. Hey, you're keeping that one for a spare, right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. And, because if a boat goes down with what me and you do, it's kind of, we're in trouble, if we're out of a boat for 3 months.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to keep that one. I'm actually going to let my son and my son-in-law run it when I don't need it. So, I'll keep her in order. I got to do a little bit of training with them, teach them how to use some things.
Right. And what kind of outboard you got on that? What do they run?
That is on my Camus or on the Triton?
On the Camus.
On the Camus, I am officially a Mercury team guy now.
That's cool.
Yeah. They I
Cool.
signed up with them. I don't exactly know. I get some sort of discount on the
Mm-hmm.
motor, which anything helps on those things. They're
Right.
expensive as you know what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that years back. That's cool.
So
And I'm sure you said already. What electronics you going with on that?
I'm going with Garmin.
Yeah.
The thing about Garmin, I love my birds and I fished birds forever. I loved my Lowrances and I fished Lowrances forever. I'm not going to name any names because all three of these companies sell all three products, so I don't want to get them in trouble. But it was very consistent that they all specifically said Garmin are the most reliable. I even had one of them say, if you put 3 birds or 3 Lowrances on a boat, one of them will never work right. And
Oh,
I
really?
can vouch for that because I've got one that never works right, and I got 3 on my boat. So
right. Now, when I was looking, again, I don't have anything real fancy. It's pretty basic. But when I was first looking at it, when I got my tracker, I remember, at least for me, Humminbird was more user friendly than Lowrance. Is Garmin that way? Are they easier to?
Garmin's pretty easy. Everything's hardware, and the truth is, the hardware is all the same. The one thing I will say, and when I got to talk to some of the guys from Garmin at ICAST last year, I didn't know this, but they told me, they were like, well, yeah, we handle all of our stuff, we build all of our motherboards, all that stuff. And he said, we expect it to be more reliable because we're actually an aviation company. So they sell, aviation electronics.
Gotcha.
He said that's their biggest market. And I was like, yeah, I would expect you to probably be pretty reliable if I'm
I would hope
flying
so,
through
right?
the air. Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't know that, but everything's got their pluses and minuses. Like Lowrance, they're pretty easy, but you always have to adjust them. The key to them is really the best thing in their interface is, and that's really what it is. It's just interfaces. It's no different. Realistically, most of your phones, your high-end smartphones, it's all the same processors. They're all built in roughly the same places. But it's all the program that goes on the interface with us as humans. And so Lowrance's, their waypoint management is great. Humminbird, they're a little easier to deal with. Now you've actually got 2 modes in Humminbird now. So you've got the advanced, you got the angler, so you can trim it down, kind of trim the fat, which I don't like that. And then, Garmin, it's kind of the same way really as Humminbird. It's closer, I think, to Humminbird, than I think Lowrance. And so you can, you just kind of go in there and change some simple things. It's pretty simple where everything's at. And, trim the fat up a little bit. But now
you don't want it too girthy,
No. But now, man, I tell you,
take a drink.
Yeah, and I tell you, everybody, I got some flack because that little short, I was sitting there and I was looking at that school of, smallmouth, and just so happens I swung around and I seen like 4 largemouth swimming behind. I took an Ed rig and threw out there and 35, 40 feet, dropped it right in front of them. And boom, caught one. And, and a lot of people are like, it don't take no skill to do that. Well, no, you might be right. But again, like I said earlier, there was 100 smallmouth on the left of me, and one of them bit. So just because you can see them don't mean they're going to eat.
I got to ask you this. How do you know, just by looking at the screen, smallmouth from largemouth?
I caught a smallmouth out of that school.
But you said then you swung to the right and seen 4 more. How did you know those were largemouth?
Well, I didn't. I seen them swimming by. Body style, they are, a largemouth and a smallmouth's body style are shaped a little different. Now, you're not going to know for certain. Now,
well, I guess if you look at it enough, you're going to know.
Yeah. And especially when they're swimming toward you or away from you, you can actually see a little better than if they're swimming across, because when they swim across the beam, they're a lot of times they're real faint. They come in and come out so quick because the beam is so small that it's really hard to tell anything about them. Now, now I run up a little bit later on a group of carp that were, I mean, dude, I've got pictures of this group of carp, and I bet they were, I mean, easily 100, if not 150 of them. I mean, and I seen them, and at first when I seen them, I was like, "There's no way this is bass." I was like, "But I'm gonna throw a jig over there."
Right.
And so I threw a jig over there, and a couple of them kind of went down to it, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And I was like, "Maybe." I was like, "If these are bass, they're the biggest bass I've ever seen on this thing." But you could tell their bodies, like a carp, that head is kind of hard,
Oh, yeah.
and then their bodies are kind of soft and nasty. Well, their head would glow way brighter than their body would, and you could almost see the detail of the head in
Makes
it.
sense.
So,
I got you.
Yeah, that's a good thing about it, man. I mean, I've got mixed emotions on it, but I mean, if I'm going to compete in the BFLs or these bigger tournaments, regional,
You got no choice
like
but to have them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I say, Booker T says it right. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I ain't making the rules, but I ain't gonna go out there and stand on a soapbox going, "Well, this shouldn't be legal. I'm not going to use it, and I'm going to donate every dime to somebody to kick my rear end."
Right.
Okay, if that's your thing, you want to do that, I'll take your money. Thank you very much for donating.
Right. A question here from Daniel: What bait or technique were you using in 30-foot deep?
Kind of that hybrid Demiki. Now they were stuck to the bottom. If I see them stacked a little bit, like a lot of times, the first thing, so I don't disrupt the group, is I'm gonna try and fish something just over top of them. So it was that Demiki. I was going back and forth between an armor shad, several different colors, and that sonar minnow from Yum. And really, man, that Jason Christie, that JC Natural, is such a great color in clear water. It just works. That's what I caught the smallmouth on. But that's what I was doing at first, and what was happening is I'd kind of backed off of them, let them rest a little bit, because they did react. After I got back, they did react to a 2.8 Kitech, a small swim bait. I was using half-ounce baits. Like I said, 25 half-ounce heads. Because I want it to hover there, and so you learn. There's some things you learn just by using that forward-facing sonar about drop speeds, and like when a bait, as the water pressure gets heavier, gets deep, as you get deeper, you'll actually take like a half ounce, and after about 20 feet, it'll slow down as it falls deeper. Now that could be the amount of line, or I don't know that for sure, but I know that you can watch almost any size bait, and they'll all reach a point to where they start slowing down. So what I was doing is I was using that half, because I know at about 20, 25, it'll slow down, and we was at about 30, 35, and I could just sit there and shake that bait, and it would, not even touch the reel handle, and it would just sit in that spot. And a lot of times that's what pisses them off.
Right.
So
that's really a huge benefit right there. Not even so much catching the fish, just seeing how they react to colors, baits, weights, all that stuff.
Yes,
that's
it
cool.
is. It's huge. We don't have to guess anymore. I was catching them on a lipless crankbait, but the hooks were in their head or in their side. I changed color and it's in the mouth. You can even see, like, by the way a fish attacks the bait, I can tell most of the time if it's a crappier smallmouth or if it's a largemouth. A largemouth will just come up from behind, and when they want it, they'll dart and they'll hit it. They might run up on it a couple times, but they'll never come to the side and swipe. Smallmouth and crappie will come up, swipe at it. Literally, I don't know if they're just dumb or blind or if they're trying to threaten it.
Right.
But they'll swipe and just miss it. They'll just swipe and totally miss it. And and they'll turn right back around and come back and do it 2 or 3 times.
That's cool. Ralph took his boat into Cabela's for annual service. Get ahead of the spring rush. Man, I hope to see you this year. Gotta get you on your PB, man. Everyone that's tuned in, we got 72 people on here. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up and stay on to the end of the chat. We'll give away a little MTB Pro Box at the end of the stream. What's going on? Fishy Sippy, Alabama's worst angler. What's up, man? James. What's up, buddy? Hank, will you pick up any big custom baits at the upcoming show in Tennessee?
Oh yeah, dude. That is
how many dozen really is the question, right?
Yeah, how many dozen? That's true. I know Folklores is going to be there, so I'm definitely going to be getting some stuff from them. That is probably the best thing about the East Tennessee Fishing Show and Expo. There we go. I got the name right. Is the amount of custom painted baits there. I mean, it's sweet.
That's cool. And that's a huge show, right? That's one of the biggest shows in your area, right?
Yeah, it's huge. Like, I hate it. I hate doing it because it's like 4 days, 12-hour days. I'm there all day. I mean, standing, walking, talking. Normally by Saturday, I'm losing my voice. By Sunday, I literally am like, hey guys, it's
BassGeek. What's going on, Nick? Dude, there's never really a topic for any of my streams. We're just basically hanging out, passing the time, having some fun on a Tuesday evening, or I guess Tuesday night.
BS bass fishing, baby.
Yeah, I ain't talked to this handsome fella in a while, so
yeah, we ain't had a chance to BS.
Greetings from the land of 10,000 lakes. What's up, man? Bass with Big Malone. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Big Malone?
I believe that Metanium giveaway, I think that's on Debo's channel this Saturday, ain't it?
It is. I believe it is. I think he's giving away 2.
2 Metaniums?
Yeah, wow. I believe it was.
I thought I heard rods too. I
couldn't remember what kind. Maybe some Loomis. Maybe is what talking
about. Yeah. I think we talked about this earlier. Was there? You didn't have a delivery date on the boat, right?
Not yet. No delivery date. Like I said, you may see me fishing my first tournament out of Old Red.
That's funny.
Chicken fried steak. I love chicken fried steak. Put a little gravy on it.
What's going on, Donnie? Good to see you, buddy. See, have you used any of the Corrado rods? The ones I use, actually, no. The ones I used were Crucial. I haven't used any of the Corrado rods.
No, I haven't used any of the Corrados. You can't go wrong with the Dobbins.
As far as that goes, I haven't used a Sierra either, though.
Yeah.
The Picasso underspins. Good job, man. Those are fantastic. I'd try to save you guys some of those. I didn't buy them all up. Oh, I guess I didn't see him at Tackle Warehouse. No, I didn't buy him over at Tackle Warehouse. Ralph Mayonnaise, hit me up, dude. We'll break your PB, hopefully. And he'll be at the expo on Saturday and Sunday.
All right, come by. Like I said, I'll be in the Camus, over around the Camus boats area. I don't know if you really call that a booth, but, that's where I'll be.
It's a good place to hang, though. Be fun.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of anglers are saying with what they have seen using forward-facing sonar debunks what we all were told, how bass move, etc. over the last number of years can be tossed in the trash.
Yes and no. I don't think they're still moving, the same way, fish movement and what we've learned is true. Now, The thing about it is, though, is we've always known, and I'll give you a prime example. Me and John talked about this on my live stream last night. We're at Cherokee. He's practicing for an open. I take him to this bluff where I've done pretty well before, and we go down. And how many times have you been bluff fishing? There's been bass busting on bait behind you in open water, or a channel swing, or just a bank. There's shad out there, but how do you catch those fish? They're chasing, they're moving too fast. So we've always known that there's bass in open water. We've always known that, bass, that there's probably going to be some bass in some places we don't expect. We've always known there's bass on spots, the spot on the spot, right?
Right.
Now it's just easier to find and make direct casts to that area. That's the deal. So yeah. Now pressure, guys, pressure moves bass. So if that's the key. A lot of times it's not necessarily that those bass aren't there. They might have been there when they first, moved up shallow, but then guys found them. So they moved, to the left, to the right, out suspended. So, it's really nothing new. Next year's our year. Go Bears.
You know anybody that's going to the East Tennessee Expo? Like anybody you work with, or?
I think my buddy Jeremy's gonna try and get down there. I don't know who all's going to be there.
A lot of the companies you work with are going to be there, or?
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I know, some of the smaller ones aren't going to be there. But trust me, there will be more stuff at this expo.
I hear a lot of guys talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it to you this way. When it comes to the East Tennessee show and expo, it is the biggest expo I've ever been to, except the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, and it could compete with the Classic expo.
Oh, good. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dave, the only show by me actually was a couple weeks ago. Of course, I was working on the weekend, but it's in Collinsville. It's already over, like I said, but that's the only one that I've ever gone to. Still the best live stream going. I picked up some heavy tungsten flipping weight for the summer as well. Some new chatterbaits and trailers, silver smoke color. There you go, man. Dave, I didn't invite Debo at first. He streamed Saturday, and I know he's streaming tomorrow, so I thought I'd give him a day off. But I did invite him after I seen his comment. He's probably in the stream here talking crap.
Probably.
What's going on, Steve? Hey, did you get I think the only thing you were waiting on was the package from Rapid. I believe it shipped. Let me know if you got that. It was funny when we did the stream for Christmas. During that stream I wanted to have what do you call that? Biscuits and gravy. I wanted to eat that on camera. I wasn't feeling all that well. So you know what? We better hold off on
that. Yeah, I'd hold off. Yeah.
All right. What is one skill, lure, or technique you want to improve in 23? For me, it's probably going to be some sort of finesse fishing. I mean, I don't have a ton of confidence in it with muddier water, but I'm sure it'll still catch them. That's something that I definitely, and I say that every year and I never do. I just go all day long with a square bill, but I really do need to slow down and do a bit more finesse fishing. And tell you what, in the A-rig, I would like to get into doing some A-rig fishing.
Yeah, I love A-rig fishing. Yeah. Probably 2 for me. You know, I always want to get better at skipping docks, but I don't fish a lot of docks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can skip, but I'm kind
Dude,
of
if you
weird.
use DC reel,
Yeah, man. I got one of the Shimano's. I'm going to pick me up another.
have you tried skipping with it?
I have not tried to skip with it. I'm
Oh,
going to
dude.
pick up one just for my skipping rod.
Yeah, I mean, you will be a professional skipper after using. I mean, I bet I could give my wife a DC reel, and within 10 minutes she'd be a skipper. I mean, it's that easy with a DC reel.
Yeah, I know you've told me that before, and so you know, right now I'm in the midst of getting new rods in and kind of changing things up. So
right
now I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to allocate each reel that I have.
Right.
So that the one I've got, it may go, well, no, it's too slow. It's a 6.3, so I've got to buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's a new technique called the shad. And it's really an old technique, but what's funny about it is it's for suspended fish, you know, since I'm working with the forward facing sonar. And so what it is, there's these baits from Japan, and basically they look like a stinking shad wrap, but they suspend.
So it's a hard bait.
Yeah. So you take it out and you find these suspended bass and you throw it to them. And you don't twitch it like a jerk bait. You don't crank it like a crankbait. You just side sweep, and it's, and then you stop. And you side sweep and you stop. So that's a little bait I want to give a shot to. You know, a lot of suspended stuff. You know, I think that first tournament.
Now, do they have different depth levels to that, or?
Yeah, they do.
Gotcha.
So
that's cool.
And then you can always put some suspend dots on there.
Right.
Sink a little bit, get a little bit deeper.
That's cool. John says, BassGeek heard you saying doing some tournament fishing this year. Will you be doing it a lot or just a handful?
I'm going to fish the mountain division for the BFLs, so I plan on fishing all 5 of those. The schedule will be Del Holla in March, Del Holla in April. Yeah. Cumberland Lake in May, the Barron River in June, and then back to Del Holla for the Super Tournament. The Super Tournament's the only one that I'm kind of, you know, the goal for me fishing the BFLs, because I fish a lot of different lakes. I'm not a homer, you know, or a ringer on a lake. So the goal for me, of course I want to win one, and I'm going to go out and try to win one. But the overall goal for me is to make the regionals, you know, because a lot of times, unfortunately, what you get when you fish tournaments like this, you know, there's big money involved. So you get these guys who all they're going to fish is one tournament, and that's going to be their home lake because they fish it 5 days a week.
Right.
So you got 20 guys who fish that lake 3 to 5 days a week, and they know every stinking, you know, sweet spot on the lake because they've spent 25 years, you know, fishing it. And, you know, and then on top of that, they got their daddies and their granddaddies knowledge, you know. They're all like, well, this hole back in 1968, I caught 32 big ones. I did eat 42 of them, but I caught 32. They was all 92 pounders.
That's great.
But, you know, and I can't compete against that. You know,
right.
my granddad, you know, he was, you know, he crappie and white bass, you know, he was an eater of trout, you know, so, you know, he's like, bass, throw that junk fish back.
Right. What's your end goal with tournament fishing? Are you trying to go, you know, up the ladder with it, or?
Yeah, I love to compete. I tell people all the time, man, there's nothing, you know, I played baseball in high school, football in high school, wrestled in high school, coached high school football, you know, offensive, defensive line for 13 years. For me, I like, you know, to compete. And there's nothing like tournament fishing.
Right.
You know, you're sitting there in the morning, You know, you got the stress, all these lights in the dark, putting the boat in the water, trying to find your co-angler, or if you're the co-angler like I've been in the past, trying to find your boater.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you get in the boat and you're just waiting for blast off, and you kind of chill for a minute, you know, and then all of a sudden they start the countdown. You know, they do the national anthem, they say a little prayer, and then all of a sudden it's boat 1, boat 2, and so you're sitting there and you're weaving through traffic, you know, getting up there, waiting to blast off, and then it's full pull, baby. You're 3 and 4 wide going down the lake, holding on for dear life.
Right.
With some dude, if you're a co-angler that you ain't never been in a boat with, and you're praying to God he knows how to drive one.
Right.
So you've got that adrenaline, you know, it's drag racing, NASCAR, whatever you want to call it. You're like, yeah. And then you pull up to the spot, and it's like, all right, listen, we're gonna fish a spot right down here. So we're gonna throw this little buzz bait. We're gonna be real quiet. So it's just this peaks of that, and then you catch one, and you're like, oh, slapping each other, belly bumping.
Right.
So it's like this. Tournament fishing is like this.
Right.
And it's just fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, hey, that cocaine buzz is over. Let me hit another one. Ah!
So I'm assuming that if you got a chance to continue on and fish the elites and all that, you take it.
I would, man. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I picked. So I'm fishing the mountain division of the BFLs this year because they're not my home lakes. I've fished that division before, so I've got a little bit of history, but I don't have as much history on like Cherokee, South Holston, Douglas, what kind of make up the core of the volunteer division. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be I want to engage my thought process in breaking down the lake in the minute, you know, not, well, I caught some bass over here one time, you know, and so I want to be breaking down the lake. I want to be in that lake breakdown, working the conditions, and that's why I'm fishing this group, because all these lakes are about 3 hours away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to travel. I'll have to pay for, you know, hotel rooms and places to stay and a lot of extra gas by fishing them. But I'm doing it to jumpstart my tournament mind, you know. And so, you know, I'll probably do that a couple of years. I'll probably go ahead and fish. Number 2, I hated the volunteer division schedule. It's just awful, in my opinion. But, you know, I'll probably do this a couple, 3 years. And, you know, if I can find, you know, some sponsorship money to fish the Opens or the Toyotas, yeah, man, I'd love to do it. Now, I mean, am I good enough to do it? I feel like the litmus test for me in the BFLs is to make the regionals. And that means you've got to be looking for top 50 finishes, you know, in a 200 plus boat field.
Right.
And like I said, I mean, I don't expect to beat those, you know, homers. But, you know, that's what I'm looking for.
That's cool, man. Good goal, you know. See, the Fritz side 5 or the money. Have you used that money badger yet?
A lot of guys. Used the money.
I haven't. A lot of guys talking about that one.
But I'm telling you, that Fritz side, man, it is money.
I haven't fished it much, a few times. Like I don't even have the money badger.
The money badger, yeah, I don't either. But the money badger, isn't it more of a rounded? Is it a flat side? Because like the Fritz side is really a flat.
You know, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't had one in hand, and I don't know.
Well, I know I've seen Alex, you know, Rudd fishing a few times. So
yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to the body on it. Well, Hank, when fishing smallies in clear water, do you ever use leech imitators? Kitech, is that
Man,
bait, Berkeley?
leech imitators are great on a drop shot. Now, that's more of a summer sort of thing for us down here, which I don't like telling that. but yeah, we do. It's all about the shad kill during the cold months. That's why we Demiki rig a lot up here during the wintertime. Down here, wherever you are, I don't know.
Gotcha. Donnie, what do you got? What are your guys' thoughts on buying JDM reels from Japan website? Seems like lower prices for same reels, just JDM version. Well, the reason they're cheaper right now, what's that whole U.S. conversion? I guess the yen isn't worth as much right now. Is that how that works? That's why they're cheaper.
Yeah.
That's why they're cheaper over there. Normally they're not. That's the only reason I ended up buying that in Terry's DC, just because it was like, $200 or $300 off normal price, just because the yen was so low.
I'm glad I didn't know that. I'm gonna go buy me some good reels now.
Well, that was when I bought it.
Sorry about your economy, Japan, but cha-ching.
But I recently just got the SLX XT DC, and I want to say I got that for $200, but I think now it's $230. So I think it's going up a little bit. But yeah, it's great to buy. It was really great to buy them over there last year, just because they were so cheap with the whole yen deal and all that. But like I said, I do believe it's changing a bit. But that's the only reason I buy them over there, just because
now our economy's tanking.
yeah, no kidding. But I've the sites that I like. I've actually only ordered from Japan Lure Shop once. Great shipping and all that. I do believe you get a free lure usually with buying from them, but you have to pay shipping. Digitaka is the one that I went through multiple times. Usually they're the cheapest, and it's free shipping, so I really like that website. I know some of you guys. Here's one right here. Some of you guys did ask about
Digitaka. That's a fun word to say.
me reaching out to him, and I may see if I can get you guys a discount code over there.
Kind of like Wagasaki. I like that one too. That's a mega bass color.
Still one of my favorite reels I think I got. I want to say it was from Digitaka. No, you know what? That one came from Japan Lure Shop. Was the Scorpion DC. I absolutely love that reel. Which DC do you got? Man. SLX?
Yeah, I've got the DCL SLX.
Yeah.
Now, Country Fried Steak, you can't have that name and make fun of my country thing. I mean, come on now.
Let us know if you guys are still fishing, if you're still catching them. What are you catching them on? Zillion SV beats all Shimano reels except the Antares. I was a huge Metanium guy. I mean, I still am. Love the Metanium. But the more I put the Zillion in my hand, I'd probably buy the Zillion all day long over the Metanium now. Still a great reel, but that Zillion is pretty awesome. What's up, TJ? Hoodie Geek.
Hey, man. Got me some hoodies in my last unboxing. By the way, got me some hoodies in my last unboxing.
That's funny. Your hoodies.
I like my hoodies, man. Hey, listen, and they're on sale in Tackle Warehouse right now, too.
Are they?
The weedless. It's because nobody buys those.
Oh, really? Yeah. What is your, favorite? If you can only throw one. I'm not a swim bait guy. I mean, the biggest swim bait I throw is like a Kitech. And the small ones, not one of them big ones that you got. I seen in one of your last videos. But if you only pick one swim bait, what's it going to be?
Are we talking just big? What are we talking?
Okay, what's one big soft and one big hard swim bait? You can only have one.
Now, I've not dove into the hard swim baits a whole lot. But if I'm going to pick one big hard, I've got, I don't remember the name, but it is a crappie version from KGB swim baits. Okay. And dude, that thing is beautiful. I cannot wait till the spring to go throw it for fun. That one, I can't wait for. Soft, man, it's just really hard to beat. The hoodie and cold water. It is. It's, people don't throw the big Kitex a whole lot either. I mean, like the 7.8, you know, I mean, the big ones.
Them big ones, yeah.
But and they're really great in the winter, and people don't really in the late winter, early spring, especially if you've got a lake where, you know, right around that time, maybe 2-3 weeks after, if they're stocking trout in it, they're so good.
Mm-hmm. Now, actually, I've heard, again, I'm not a swimback guy at all, but I mean, you always hear it's more of a visual bite, you know, something they can see.
It is.
So, I mean, is that something you would, I mean, I fish pretty dang dirty water. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes on a good day, 2-3 inches visibility is like a lot.
Yeah.
Is that something you would throw in muddy water?
Less in muddy water, probably with an underspin. And I'm talking about, so now for me, my go-to bait is absolutely going to be the bait from Ramsey Lures. Gosh, I forget what he calls it. Or the one from Bass Munitions. And I'll throw swim baits, which, you know, they're 5-inch. That's sort of my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll throw those baits because what you can offset with those is you can make them, I mean, glow in the dark.
Right.
You know, and you can, you know, you can make them black, you know, so that they're there. So, but I've thrown, I know, on the Barren River, considering I'm going back to the BFLs, you know, on bridge piers, you know, I caught some good ones, even though it was a crankbait bite, you know, probably a foot or less of clarity. And, you know, I was throwing one that was just really bright chartreuse side and a dark bluish purple back, and caught some good threes off that bridge pier in practice.
But you had a foot of visibility, you said, though.
Yeah, you know, probably right there, a foot or less.
Right.
So
maybe I'll give it a shot.
You know, for me, if you don't have 2-3 feet, you know, if you ain't got 3 feet, I'm generally probably going away from a swim bait at that point.
Got you. And again, that's why I don't finesse fish much. I mean, I don't have any confidence throwing a little 2-3 inch Ned rig in damn near, you know, black water.
Yeah. Now for you, if you've got stumps or laydowns, what you're probably going to want to throw is going to be more of those like Bass Tricks or Shadowlicious baits. So, you know, find you either some colors, like I said, that are real, just crazy bright or dark, because they put off a lot more thump.
Gotcha.
And you're going to fish those over top of cover, you know, or around cover, docks, rocks, you know, lay downs, so that the fish can come up out of it.
Rocco 112 Camaro. I always got a few things I'm selling, probably a few more reels. I got a ton of rods I'd like to get rid of, but I'm done shipping them. Anyone local, I'll sell rods too. But the last time I shipped rods, it was like almost $40 to like ship one rod, and that's like ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not shipping rods anymore.
Hey, if you want to pay for shipping, he said he'll ship them.
Right. But heck, the deal you'd give them, they would lose in shipping. You know what I mean? You might as well just go to Tag Warehouse and buy one full price and get free shipping. Probably the same deal.
Yep.
How do you guys talking to yourself here, or talking with each other, which is pretty cool. So he says Money Badger is a rounded crank.
And that's kind of what I figured, because watching, I roughly know where Alex is fishing because we're from kind of two ends of the same place. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing as like I'm a huge fan of the Bandit 300s.
I love the 100.
Unboxing. Yeah.
300 is a little deep for me. I love the 100.
Yeah, the 100 and 200 is kind of what I'm fishing, you know. And so, you know, that Bandit, it's still a subtle bait, but it's rounded. Yeah, right there. And so, you know, it's going to give off a little more wobble. And I think, so when you talk about the Fritz side, you're talking about more of a clear water, more of a subtle natural bait versus those rounded baits like, your rock crawlers, stuff like that. And I noticed where Alex was fishing, it was pretty muddy. Seems like when he's catching those.
Gotcha. Michael, I did a video. I actually got a review on the Corrado DC, and I do skipping in that video. Then I have a dedicated skipping video with that reel as well. Talk about how to set the reel up, line, rod, baits, all that. So I guess you can just go ahead and search on my channel for it, and you'll find it. But yeah, I got a couple of videos on that. I mean, I'm excited to try those Lew's. Have you tried those? The Lew's skipping reels?
Yes, I've got like 3 of those.
Okay,
I love them.
Can you skip good with those?
Yeah. And I think it's just the spool where it's just the
it's so
shallow. Yeah,
right. It's going to be hard really to backlash with that. You know what I'm saying? If you have any idea at all how to skip with hardly any line on there, but the DC, I mean, I fill it all the way up, and no problem, dude. I can sling them baits way under docks, no problem.
Yeah. Well, that's what like everybody asks me, they'll see me do a skip or something, in a video, and they're like, "Man, do a skip," and I'm the worst person in the world because, like, I can't cast, sidearm cast right-handed. I can do it left-handed. So if I cast with my right hand, I can only do it with that hand. I can't put the left hand on there. It just screws me up. But I can do it left-handed and have to cast that way. I can't cast single-handed on this side. So I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to learn how to." A lot of times, everybody's different. I'm a freak, so you just sometimes don't worry about how everybody else is doing it how you can. So.
Right. Yeah, I haven't used those yet. I'm sure they're great, but I mean, I can't imagine them being as good as the DC platform. I mean, they're pretty.
No,
awesome.
I don't think they're. Yeah. They're good though. I mean, I was pretty amazed at how well I could skip with it and not have to worry too much.
Right. What's going on, Kyle? Hank, have you found a co-angler link yet?
I do. I found a guy that lives literally 20 minutes up the road from me. He's going to travel with me. I'm paying for the room. I'm going to be there anyway. And so that'll allow him to practice too. We've done paid for our first 2, which will be the 2 Del Hollas. And then we'll pay for our other 2 after that, the Barron and the Cumberland Lake. The Cumberland Lake I'm nervous about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not nervous about catching fish, but man, if anybody knows anything about Cumberland Lake, right around that time of year, that lake almost always raises. It's like this 1 week where it raises like 30 feet. And it is trashy as can be. And the first year I fished up there, I'm fishing the Barron River, which is right next, the very next tournament. And a great deep cranking lake, by the way. So I'm excited about that one. But I'm with this guy on the Barron River, and I'm like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, we're going to be going way up the river. A lot of guys, they don't know how to get there, and it's dangerous." And I'm like, "Hey, just, if you know it, I'll trust you." I'm like, "I just don't want to be like those guys in the Cumberland, they hit a log and got thrown out." He goes, "Yeah, that was me." And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm in the boat with this dude."
Oh man.
But you can tell the homers on Cumberland because none of them have skags.
Right. Now, I mean, again, I'm not a tournament guy. I'm not even sure how I would even approach a tournament on a big body of water. But do you do a lot of map study and all that before all that, or do you know majority of these lakes? You talk to guys, or like what's your game plan there?
I don't like to talk to guys. I don't like dog talk. I like because even guys I trust, like I've gone out and tried to duplicate patterns that they fished just a few days before, and it don't work for me. So I just have to be me. So I look for things that make me feel comfortable, things that, I feel like I want. I do research to see, like Cumberland. I know the smallmouth predominantly are going to be on the lower end of the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the largemouth are predominantly going to be mid and up. So, you know, I just look for the stuff that makes me feel good,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I'll pick a couple of different areas to fish in both
Mm-hmm.
days of practice, and I, you know, hope you find some. I mean,
Right,
that's
right.
just kind of how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't fish many different lakes, but when I go to a new lake, I just kind of do what I have confidence in. That's normally shallow cranking, But I
yeah,
mean, if I'm on a big body of water, I guess you got to find the productive areas too.
yeah,
You can't just hit rock everywhere.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I'm going to record all the tournaments, practices, tournaments. I'm not going to do what I did like a couple years ago when I try to do a video for every day of practice. I'm just going to put it all together because I think that those videos are better. You can tell the story over the course of a few
Mm-hmm.
days. Maybe, I mean, and I'll kind of let the audience tell me what they think. We might do the practice video and the tournament video, but since it's a 1 day tournament, I think we're just going to do basically the 3 days, and we're just going to do it all in
Mm-hmm.
one video and be done with it.
Cool. All right, Donnie, Zillion versus Corrado DC. It would
Mm.
depends what I'm doing. If I'm strictly skipping, DC.
Mm.
The Corrado, at least for me, it's not very comfortable in hand. It's not a reel that
Mm.
I'd want to crank with or nothing like that. The Zillion is so small and compact. It's a very comfortable power fishing reel. Great casting reel. I would
Mm.
say probably for me, if I wasn't skipping, Zillion. If I'm skipping, I go DC. And you haven't used a Zillion, right?
I have not used the
Dude, you
Zillion.
are slacking, man. You are a slacker.
I'm trying to. I'm gonna pick up maybe.
I'm thinking about
I'm
picking up a
definitely
couple
gonna
more, to
pick
be
up a.
honest with you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up a Corrado DC this year. I've got to fish with a couple of them and some of the Daiwa stuff. I'm not a. I'm just not a huge Daiwa fan, man.
Dude,
I had a buddy that
I had to
had
slap you.
I had a buddy that had the discount. You know, when the R types come out, they were like $200.
What reel?
Every single one of them, man. I bought like 6 of them.
What reel?
The R types, the two R
Oh, Type R,
types.
yeah. The red one,
Yeah,
the
Type
Ferrari
R.
looking ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They were the $200 ones. You know,
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it. I
not
got a
the,
few, yeah.
yeah. Well, every single one of them, the daggone side plate, the screws were backing out. I'd be up there and I'd be fishing and I'd hear.
No
And I'm
kidding,
like,
huh?
what in the crap is this? And then I started noticing the daggone screws were backing out of the, and I was like, what in the? And it did it to me 2 or 3 times, but I finally got them tightened down.
Well, you can't let
And
that turn you off Daiwa, man.
it was
I'll
all
tell you what.
6 of them, man.
Well, then maybe it's just that particular reel, But I never had an issue
All,
with mine. But I will
all
say
of those must have been built on by the Friday crew.
there you go. I will say with all my earlier Daiwas, Tatulas, whatever they were, I was
Mm-hmm.
always moving that brake just because it seemed like it set out a little further, and where it was
Yeah,
positioned on the side plate, you'd
yeah.
always move it. So maybe you're catching that screw. But the Zillion and a lot of the newer ones, the way they're tucked in, and they're actually a
Mm-hmm.
little harder to move than the earlier ones. So I don't think you're
Okay.
going to have that issue with the Zillion and all that, dude. And dude,
I
the
swear.
Elite's freaking awesome.
Okay.
You've tried that
All
one
right,
yet?
I'm gonna give them a try.
You got to try them, man. If anything, I'd go Zillions. Like if you just wanted to pick one, go Zillion.
I always pick a lower end one, like that middle of the range. 150, $200, just to test it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, if that's good, let's see what the higher end ones.
Dude, the CTs, man, for 140,
The
they're
CTs,
they're
listen,
solid,
I've
dude.
got, you can't complain about the CTs.
No, not at all, man.
At all.
Mm-mm. I'd say in that price for the CT and the SLX XT, those two reels are super solid. It's hard to recommend any other reel in that price range. I mean, they're that good.
Wow.
But I would just go ahead and get a Zillion and be done with it.
What's the Zillion price for?
It's I think it's in the 3. I don't know if it's 330 or 3. But dude, it's worth every penny.
I don't own a reel that expensive.
It's worth every penny.
But you know what? This is how I've been for years. Like rod companies that want to work with me, like they hate my guts because I'm like, I don't only want one rod because I'm very specific. Like I hate to tie. I hate to cut and tie on different baits.
Oh yeah.
I want to stick 50 in my rod locker, and when I need a jerk bait, I want to pull that jerk bait rod out. When I'm done with it, I want to set it down. I need a crankbait, I want to pull that crankbait rod out. If I feel like I'm going back and forth between two color crankbaits or jerk baits, I want two of those suckers.
Right.
And I don't want to have to cut and tie on one.
Oh yeah.
You know, but you get into that tournament, it's all about, it ain't like golf. It don't matter how long it takes you to play, 18 holes. You got 8 hours. So cut and tie, and then you cut and tie so much on a couple. Now you got to reline.
Right. That's how I am with shallow cranking. I might have 6 square bills on the deck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. It's all about and that's why I even say, man, I tell people all the time. People are like, oh man, I don't really need that much. I don't need that. I don't need fancy graphs. Yeah, you do. If you're a weekend angler, you need them way more than KVD does. You know why? Because KVD's butt is out there 6-7 days a week. He's fishing and knows where everything is.
Oh yeah.
He knows where the bass are moving, where they're coming, where they're going. He's doing that all year. Yeah. You out there 2 days a week going, where the crap are these bass?
Right. It's really tough to beat time on the water,
Yeah, time on the water is the deal. It don't matter how much or how little crap you got. Being on the water, like I said, I was on the water the other day and fished for 4 or 5 hours with my son-in-law. Didn't catch a fish, but man, I learned a lot just by watching the graph, watching that sonar, understanding what goes on at those water temperatures and where they're at. Because here's the thing, you got to think about this. So the way I discovered this school of smallmouth was I'm filming a video talking about fishing a bluff with a jig. I look down at my graph and my trolling motor's just swung out. Well, here these bass are 30 feet off this bluff. You know what they're doing out there? That's where they stay, where they winter. And when they're active, they move up that bluff to feed. So they go out here when they're not active, and they come over and move up that bluff when they're ready to feed. So,
apparently, I might be a bad influence on you. That's where some of these people crack me up. Dave, chill out, man.
Yeah, man, I just fake it, guys. That bass that I caught the other day, man, it wasn't real. It was stuffed. I just hooked him out of the water.
No, I think he's saying I'm a fraud.
You're a fraud?
This guy is a fraud, BassGeek. What are you doing on here?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Apparently, I'm a
Jim ain't a fraud.
I know some of these fools. I swear. That's why I put it up there. I think they make comments like we care. We just laugh at it.
Yeah, Jim ain't a fraud. He's the tackle junkie.
I'm tackle.
I mean, I don't know any. Listen, I don't know any other channel where you're going to get the amount of knowledge on tackle, on baits that you're going to get on this channel. I mean, hands down. I've sat back and I'm like, I'm not even trying to compete with Jim on that. Him and Debo both. You want to know about some baits, you go to Jim and Debo. You want to know about tactics? Yeah. You want to know about tactics, come to my channel.
I agree 100%, buddy.
Heck, I come to his channel and I go, well, let me try that bait he's talking about.
Right.
I'm like, I got an idea for that. Like, do they make a deeper version?
Right, yeah, for you, right.
Yeah.
I forgot you shallow crank with DT20.
What's the heaviest underspin they make?
Right. You throw a 2 ounce, don't you?
Yeah.
TJ, I'm a square bill fanatic like you. If you can't fish one, what's your second? If you can't fish if you can't fish one, what's your second? So if I can't fish my favorite, what's my second? My top two got to be KVD 1.5 and Bomber Square A. Hands down, my favorite two.
Hard to beat. Hey, man, have you tried, now it's not really a true square bill, but have you really went out and tried that Norman's Speed In?
No, I don't think I have.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a little bit of it's a square bill, but it's more rounded.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it'll really hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I like it on shallow flats where there ain't a lot.
It's a bit longer and taper too, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I tell you what we're going to do here. We're hour in. We got 122 people on here. Let's get the giveaway rolling real fast. All you have to do, I think I know what you put on here. I always forget how to do this. Settings? No. Present? Uh-oh. Yeah, share screen. I thought I clicked the wrong one. Okay, all you have to do is hashtag girth or pound, and you are entered. That's all you got to do.
Drink.
Take a drink.
Tonight's fine beverage is brought to you by McDonald's because it's the only crappy thing to eat in Duffield, Virginia. If you love cardboard with salt on it, eat McDonald's.
Right, dude. Sometimes their nuggets are great, but sometimes, man, they're pretty horrible.
Yeah. Sometimes they give me the craps.
I like when you get a double hamburger and you take it out of the package and you can't even see any meat. The bun is just it's bread on bread.
Yeah, you know what I went and got tonight? I went and got, because I hadn't eaten all day, man. I've been so busy because, just so much stuff to do. So I went and I got 2 plain doubles, a cup of mac sauce, and I just tear them doubles in half and dip them in mac sauce and eat them. It's like, at least the mac sauce has flavor.
Mm-hmm. Man, we got a keyboard warrior in here. Old Dave's back. TJ couldn't catch him in a barrel. Dude, I never said I was a great fisherman, man.
I don't know.
I want him to keep putting comments, so I keep putting them up here.
I've seen some that TJ catches. I want to come up there and fish in ponds with him one of these years.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Can we get the Camus in there, you think?
The concrete pad is probably a little too short.
Well, I mean, if I drive fast, we just shoot it out there, right?
That might work. I agree, Bass and Big Malone. I think he needs a hug. He might need a kiss too.
I'm a hugger, so I give away free hugs. I ain't a kisser. I might lick you, but upside the face. See if you got some of that McDonald's salty flavor too.
See if we got one more question in here, and then we'll go ahead and what is this? I got a new CT for 119 all day. There you go. Good deal.
Nice. I had somebody send me, I lost my buzzbait combo when I fell off the boat up at the little lake I grew up fishing. Mm-hmm. And somebody sent me one of the old CTs. So
cool. Why has the fishing industry gotten away from 200 size spools? I love my Corrado 200s. Do you use a lot of bigger spools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially during the summer. And I agree with this because I like even with like Lew's, I'm a big fan of Lew's. And, their the original BB1 Pro had a big wide spool.
Right.
And so I used it for, my ledge fishing, swim baits and underspins. It's even hard, man. They've even scaled down on a lot of the, what's their heavy duties called? Gosh, I can't believe I'm going brain dead. They're the LFS, but anyway, they've got a heavy duty version.
Right.
And even those now are smaller spools. They seem deeper, which I'm cool with that.
But it's more like a special spool. I mean, 2 and 3. I mean, that's a lot of line, even on a 300 size spool. I mean, majority of us 100 size spool that holds more than enough line, and with line being so dang expensive too.
Yeah. But I mean, you're out there. I mean, you're making just bomb casts,
Right.
with those deep diving crankbaits, with those, because you're hefting the cast over top of those schools and come through them.
Mm-hmm.
So I like a little more line on those. I still put backing on most of them,
Right.
but I do put a lot more line on them so that I
Mm-hmm.
can, so that when I'm, especially you're dragging on those ledges, those bottoms, you're not uh having to line,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll have to do a lot of cutting and retying if you're in certain places with a lot of shell beds and stuff like that.
Gotcha. All right. Let's go ahead and pick us a winner here. Was it the Super Duty you're talking about earlier?
Yes, Super
Yep.
Duty,
I'm
daggone
put
it.
it here. Super Duty.
Yes,
All right.
thank you, Michael, or whoever else said that.
Yeah, Michael there. All right. Let's pick us a winner here. Give away 83 entries. Here we go. The winner is
I can't keep that up.
John Sims.
John Sims.
John Sims, where you at, man? Email should be in the description, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. I'll probably have you come back over to the video, though, and leave a comment as well. That way I know for sure it's you. Where you
Bassless
at?
chap. Again, best name on YouTube.
Yeah. He's a good dude. Where you at, buddy?
Shout out to Brian Lee, too.
There we go. All right, buddy. Yeah, hit me up Instagram, Facebook, or email, and I'll get that out to you hopefully tomorrow. And guys, we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you guys head over to BassGeek's channel if you haven't subscribed to him. Definitely do so. Cool dude over there. Handsome beard. I mean, he's got it going on, right?
I look like a dock worker with the beanie on. I don't know what dock workers do. Toss fish or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, guys, it was a fun stream. I'm sorry for the one Sally in here who had giving me a hard time. Sorry he was in here. Hopefully he's not in here next week. Anyways, guys, we're out. You guys are awesome. Smash the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And we are.